No, just no Stella.
Hello and welcome everyone to the May 11th, 2026 Creswell City Council meeting. Would you please join us in a Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. I just want to say that Mayor Nick Smith will not be joining us tonight, and that is an excused absence. And with that, the first order of business is the public forum. And maximum time for public forum is 30 minutes. Speakers will be, oops, let me turn this on, sorry. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each. The council will not engage in discussion or make decisions based on public comment at this time. And the mayor may direct the city manager to follow up on comments received. And we do have one speaker tonight, and that would be Debbie Yee. Would you please approach the podium, Mrs. Yee? And if you would state your name and address for the record, please. Thank you.
Debbie Yee, I live in Creswell. I just want to take one more stab at the South Lane Fire and Rescue Levy. And I want to remind everyone, your vote counts. Your vote counts no matter what you're voting for, no matter what side you're coming down on. Please vote. Fire Levy 20-383 is sorely needed in Creswell, as well as Cottage Grove and South Lane. We need fire services. We also need to maintain our ambulances. So I would encourage everyone to do that. I appreciate City Manager Martorello's weekly update and explaining why the city is not being able to advertise it, why the city employees or public employees cannot do that. Fully agree with it. I wish we could plaster it all over the building and on our reader board, but we've got to get out the vote, we've got to support it, and we need it for our city. So please vote.
Thank you. We have next order of business is correspondence. Any comments on correspondence?
Mayor's report. I believe it's next.
Oh, sorry, yes. Mayor's report. Thank you, Mr. Mortorello. I do have a proclamation that I'm going to read on the mayor's behalf, and it is titled, Office of the Mayor, City of Creswell Proclamation, Colonel Richard Dick Heyman, Jr. Day. Whereas Colonel Richard Dick Michael Heyman, Jr., 1924 to 2026, honorably served the United States for 32 years as a highly decorated Air Force pilot, beginning with his enlistment in the U.S. Army Corps in 1942. At age 18, becoming the youngest pilot in the 8th Air Force, flying 342 combat missions in World War II, including support of the D-Day invasion on June 6, 1944, and continuing his distinguished service in the Korean and Vietnam Wars, earning numerous commendations, including the Silver Star, Distinguished Flying Cross, Legion of Merit, and multiple air medals. And whereas, following his retirement in 1973, Colonel Heyman became a dedicated member of the Creswell, Oregon community, serving as a city councilor at age 91, contributing to local journalism and supporting charitable causes including education, children's health, and animal welfare. And whereas, known for his humility, integrity, and lifelong commitment to service, Colonel Heyman was a devoted husband, father, and grandfather whose legacy continues through his family and community. And whereas, in recognition of his extraordinary military service and enduring contributions, Colonel Heyman was posthumously awarded the French Legion of Honor in 2026. Now therefore, I, on the behalf of the mayor, Nick Smith, mayor of the city of Creswell, do hereby proclaim Mayor 25th of each year as Colonel Richard Dick Heyman Jr. Day in the city of Creswell, and encourage all residents to honor his life, reflect on his service, and recognize the enduring importance of courage, humility, and commitment to community. There it is. Okay, so now we move on to correspondence. Does anyone have any comments or anything you contribute about it? If not, we'll move right on to the consent calendar, and all items listed are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussions of these items unless a councilor requests that an item be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately. Does any councilor have any items wish to be pulled? Questions? If not, I'm looking for a motion. Councilor Clark Kent?
I move that we accept the minutes as presented.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Councilor Duke, seconds. With that, we'll vote. All in favor? All opposed? Same sign? Caitlin?
That does have the movies in the park in it as well this year, so just to make sure, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, the waiver.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that, the minutes are approved unanimously, and yes, we do have, that is not on the agenda, but I know it's in here. Okay, so is Miss Heather Prachu here tonight? I don't see her. Is
I
that?
think that we just approved it under the consent calendar, so I
Oh,
think
okay,
we're
well,
good.
we need a motion for that. So let's just, we've approved the minutes, let's look at the motion for the waiving the,
Noise.
yes, the noise ordinance. So we need a motion for that as well, because that is a separate motion. So do I have a motion?
Over here.
Councilor Morris. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I didn't read it yet.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, let me
Councilor
read.
Morris.
All right. I move that the city council grant a waiver of CMC 9.25 for movies in the park on July 18, August 1, August 15th, and August 29th, 2026.
Okay, now we have a motion on the floor. Is there any questions or discussion? Councilor?
Need a second?
Yes, but we going to have any discussion?
That usually comes after the second.
Okay. And do we have a second? Councilor Clark? Okay, we have a second. Do we have any discussion on this matter? Questions? Not? Okay, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? All opposed, same sign? Okay, motion passes in favor. All right,
I don't live across from the park.
we did it.
It's not that bad.
Okay, now let's move on down to the administrative report, and that is City Manager Mortarello.
Thank you. In your packet, you have the finance expenditure report. Are there any questions on the finances or expenditures presented? Yes.
Yes, I'm a big fan of the Detroit Rock Group, the MC5, but I'm not familiar with MV5. Can you go into detail about that?
NV5,
Yes.
that is the engineer that's helping us with the runway, the taxi lane extension.
No. North taxi.
North taxi lane extension, sorry. Thanks for the clarification.
Any other questions for Councilor Holt?
I have a list. Page 1, analytical lab group.
Analytical, that is for the wastewater testing?
Can I ask, is that a monthly charge?
Yes.
And why are we having the wastewater tested every month?
I think Cliff can provide more detail at the podium.
That's the way to be a boss.
Analytical lab doesn't only do our wastewater, but they do our water testing. And the health division and DEQ regulate how many samples we have to have done monthly. The wastewater plant has to have, I believe, 5 depending on the month, and sometimes there's as many as 12, depends on our permit. And the water plant has 7 samples a month.
Okay, thank you.
HR specialist employment law, I see it's only $149. I'm
Yes.
curious if it's a monthly charge and why we are in this service.
It is a monthly charge, I believe, and it is for the payroll, subscription to a payroll magazine that,
Okay,
It's an annual charge, but
Oh,
it's-
sorry.
it is a monthly newsletter that our payroll clerk gets to kind of keep up on what the latest tax laws are in payroll.
and that's, it's only annual?
Yeah, that's an annual,
Oh,
once a year.
that's great. Pacific Northwest Flooring,
that was for new flooring at, I believe, the wastewater or the water facility?
okay.
Water facility.
Okay, page 2, Bucks, $945. Is that for the Arbor Day?
I don't know which one that's for, but it's for the Porter Johns.
Where do we have porta potties, other than right here on Second?
We have porta potties at all the facilities in the wintertime when we close the standard bathrooms. And then in the summertime, when we open those up, we only supply them to the areas that don't have bathrooms. So we have 2 bike parks that have restrooms. Second Street still has a restroom because the new bathrooms aren't opened up. I'm trying to think. There's 4 or 5 places that we provide bathrooms all year long.
Okay. Are we required to have them at like the bike park?
Well, there's not a specific requirement, but
Okay.
I think it's more of a user convenience matter.
And then, same page 2, Department of Consumer, and I took terrible notes, in business services, $3,083.
That's the state surcharge, 12% of the building permits.
Oh, okay. And then, I know what Step It Up is. It's the person that does our IT services.
Yes.
But I'm curious, is that a monthly charge, or is that
I'm
a
going to ask Jim to.
$3,667?
Yeah, so that's part of their MSP, managed service provider charges. But about half of that is software licensing through Microsoft, so all of our Outlook emails, Word, Excel, and all that. I've asked them going forward if they would break those out, especially since we're looking at going out to bid for our MSP. It would be better for the council, it would be better for us internally to see those charges separate and not on one invoice.
Okay, thanks. And then, same page, WCNL Enterprises, $1,800.
That is one that we did not have flagged. Jim, can you come back up?
Sorry to get you like that.
No, it's a great one. This one actually catches me because it used to be called something else. It's our street sweeper. We pay him monthly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Page 3, Automation Group Incorporated.
That's telemetry and communication at our water tower and I believe our wastewater facility.
Bear with me, I'm taking notes so I don't ask these questions again. Okay, this is my favorite one, Forerunner.
That is the flood management system that Lenny Crow discussed at the work session. That allows us to provide better interface with the flood management process and also the public interface.
Yeah, okay, I remember the conversation, not the name. So, JBL Signs, $285.
That is for a park sign, but I'm not
Okay.
exactly sure which piece that covers.
That's fine. Profectus Incorporated, $795.
That is our cleaning service,
Oh,
janitorial service.
is that a monthly charge?
Yes.
Okay, Willamette Construction, $8,000 roughly?
That's one of the construction companies that just completed the renovation to the conference room.
Here?
Yes.
Okay.
We had false ceiling put in, some sheet rock, the extension of the fire suppression system, and new electrical.
No
New,
electrical?
I'm sorry, new electrical fixtures, lighting fixtures.
Oh, I was gonna say, how old is this building? I know.
Well, they didn't run the electricity to the second floor all the time.
Page 4, all the king's flags.
That is for new flags that we picked up.
Just like our flags out front?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. How many flags do we get for that?
I do not know that answer.
Sure. That was for a total of 6 flags, 2 US, 2 Oregon, and 2 POW MIA flags.
That's a lot.
Yeah, they're a little over $100 a piece.
How big are they?
They're the big full-size ones that you see out front.
Yeah, because I know where we can get them cheaper than that. I'm just really curious. Like, could you get the size for me? I'd be curious.
Sure.
Yeah, thanks. Where were they made?
I'd have to look at the invoice.
Okay, okay. And then Security Monster, what service do they provide for us? It's the page 4, $220. It's a very small amount. I was just curious who they are.
They provide security at the Public Works shop. That's a
Thank you.
monthly fee for all the buildings.
And then page 5, we're almost done, you guys. FEI testing.
That was for recent concrete testing. I think it was associated with the slab that went down for the new restroom at Robinette Hughes Park.
Okay. And then Hack Company, or I think that's how you say it, HACH, $459.
That was for parts for the wastewater plant and perhaps the water plant.
Okay, I'm all done. Thank you.
Well, we went 2 for 597, so not bad, thank you.
I didn't have a button, nobody told me that.
I don't have it, so. Are there any other expenditure report questions?
No,
Councilor Schreiber?
I missed one?
Just want to know about the Oregon Employment Department. What is the $3,000 for?
Which page is that?
That's on the last page. Or,
That was for an unemployment claim from a previous employee.
that's been since resolved?
What's that?
That's been solved, or? It's complete?
Well, we needed to pay a portion of the claim because of the time frame that elapsed between the 2 different employees. We were still included in that time frame where they were eligible.
Sounds good, thank you.
That makes sense.
Okay, so now, are there any other questions? Okay, well, great job, counselors, putting staff to the test, and great job, staff, for answering everything. Okay, with that, then we'll move on to Lane County Sheriff's Report. That will be Sergeant Spelldrick.
Hello, everyone. If you take a look at the calls, you'll see that we're back down to what our normal is. Last month was kind of an anomaly with the property crimes like we talked about at the last council meeting, but we are back down to what we can expect. We are staying very busy. You can see we've got lots of self-initiated activity going on, and just a couple little highlights for the last month. I don't think many people have the phone number, but our sheriff's office area here in City Hall no longer has landline phones. We had those removed, or the city had them removed. It was something we weren't using. They would occasionally ring, and it was usually a telemarketer or something. And so we've gone to using our main dispatch line for everything. That's how it was designed in the beginning. The landlines got added many years ago when cell phones were still pretty new, and I think we just kept them, and we decided that was a unnecessary thing, and it saves the city some money. So those are no longer there. So if for some reason you had one of those numbers programmed in your phone, it doesn't work anymore. So everyone should be calling non-emergency to try to get a hold of a deputy, and then we each have work cell phones. So we did have 2 Measure 11 calls. One of them was between kids, and so that's being addressed. It's because of the ages, it's not a criminal matter, but it does fall under a Measure 11 type crime. And then we had I need to find a way to I guess, find some way to express this. It's a elderly person with some age-related issues. It was taken as a case number as a report, but it was very clear that it actually did not occur. It was an allegation of a Measure 11 crime, though. So we were able to determine that this did not occur. It's real to them, but it's not real to, I guess, the rest of us. So in the last month, I'm fortunate. I want to share a little bit. I got to go to the Western States Hostage Negotiation Association conference in Spokane. I don't know if anybody's been to Spokane. It's a kind of an interesting city, but that was really good training. That as part of my role at the sheriff's office, I'm a negotiator, and I got to learn a whole bunch of stuff and connect with other people in our area in different counties and stuff that I don't normally see, and so we were able to pick each other's brains and be resources for each other. So that was a cool thing, and really, other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions, but it's kind of business as usual for us, and that's kind of nice.
Did you get to role play?
At the conference?
Again?
Not at the conference. No, the conference is there's like 500 plus negotiators that go, and so we didn't get to do that, but at my monthly trainings I do. So
how'd you go out last month with that the thing out at Fircrest?
which thing, I'm sorry?
You guys had that negotiation or that hostage situation or something over there, that drill?
Training.
Oh, out at the old, yeah, so that went really well. It was kind of cool because we were doing a whole thing with our SWAT team was integrated into that, and we had Springfield Police brought their team out, and we kind of operated as one unit, and that was really cool to work together and figure out each other's styles. And one scenario I was the team leader, the other Springfield person was the team leader, so seeing how we do things different from them, and that was cool. That was an awesome thing. Right. We have another big one coming up in June. I just don't know if it's going to be in Creswell or not. But that'll be all the area agencies.
Are there any other questions? Well, I'll just close this part of the meeting with a great job. No goose eggs in the speeding line there. Keep up the good work. I actually spotted a couple of your guys. It looked like they were looking for speeders. I thought, wow, awesome.
Yep, I have a very hard-working crew down here, and they are very easy to supervise because they're always out trying to do the right things. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next item is the city attorney report.
You have included in your packet our report from Local Government Law Group that breaks down in general terms, the work that was completed in April. It amounts to 26 hours of attorney time.
Are there any questions for Manager Martorello? If not, we'll move on to the code enforcement report.
In the packet, you have a summary of the violations and their status, along with photographs of some of those violations. Are there any questions?
No questions from counselors. We can move on to the building permit recap report.
Are there any questions?
Seeing none, we'll just move right on down to the council action items. And that would be Mr. Piper.
Thank you, Council President Costi and City Councilors. The item before you is a resolution that will update our public records request policies and procedures, specifically defining the acceptable payment methods. You probably have read through the background material, and just want to reiterate on the financial considerations that the chargebacks are $15 per dispute, and staff recommends that we address this policy issue with the chargebacks. Are there any questions from the council?
Yes, I was wondering, this is a good measure against bad actors, but I was also wondering if the same thing can happen with the checks, writing, somebody depositing a check that does not have funds to cover it, and what would happen in that situation?
Yeah, there could be an issue with checks. Typically, they clear much quicker, typically within 5 business days or less, whereas the credit card's kind of open-ended. The chargebacks we're seeing are coming back like 30 days later. So it's quite a long time to just leave it open. Good question.
One more. Do you see this coming from a wide swath, or is it generally like one or two, a few people that this comes from? Can you comment on that or not? Not sure.
Do you want to take this one?
So we're having a situation where we're having experience with the same person entity couple of times doing this. We have disputed them, and we believe we had verifiable proof that the records were given. And the dispute process is interesting because it's disputed, and then if we want to continue the dispute, it's a $500 charge to the city and the taxpayers. We opted on one of them not to do that because of the amount and then the amount of staff time that would be involved. But then it happened again on a subsequent records request. So given that this is really taxpayer dollars we're talking about, staff time, we looked at this option as a potential way to address that. That you mentioned with checks, the difference, one of the differences may be when we get an insufficient funds notification from a check, that's coming directly from the person's bank. So we really just have to deal with the bank, and it's pretty obvious that from the bank standpoint, when we have a credit card dispute, it is merchant talking to merchant, and where we then provide information, it may or may not be taken, and so there's a longer protracted process for that costs the taxpayers more the further we go into it. That's why this option is an option that we looked at as a way to avoid this in the future. And I'm sorry.
Seems like a great option, thank you.
Yeah, and I might add just on the checks, we didn't want to take away a means of somebody to mail it in, and so a check would offer them to maybe to mail it in and not have to come down to City Hall immediately to pay their request.
Sounds like theft of services.
Councilor Kramer?
So a question about the disputes. If they don't have sufficient funds, that's going on their next bill, right? Or you're still trying to get that amount, right? It's not just somebody saying, hey, we did this, you did that, and then we have a whole bunch of people that say, we're gonna just get a charge off on it, we're gonna.
We are looking at the options on how to address exactly what you're saying. We're not of the mind, because we believe we've provided verifiable proof that these records have been given, we're not of the mind to drop it. So we're discussing some measures internally at this point, how to follow up, what to do, and what's our recourse.
Yeah, just kind of protect ourselves about, other people doing
Yes.
this route, taking advantage of that system as the way it is right now.
Yes, correct.
Thanks.
And Caitlin, can you discuss some of our benchmarking with other communities? as well, just to give the council a little broader context?
Absolutely. So I have the Oregon City Recorders group, and I actually sent out to them to kind of see across the board what they have in place. And there's actually quite a few that have only cash or check options. There's some that have money orders and just other options that they're easier to process and not have the option to do a kickback like the credit cards do have in place. So.
Yeah, excellent. And one more, I'd like to add one more thing onto that. With our utility customers, we obviously have things in place, and they're regular customers, and we have courses of action if the payments are not sufficient. But with public records requests, because of the way the public records request laws are written, they're individual transactions, so you can't lump them together, and it just becomes more problematic.
Okay, do we have any other questions from councilors? I have one, and maybe just for clarification. I believe I understand this, but I just want to make sure. The last sentence of this here says the public records laws require that the city accept payment, but it is silent about the type of payment. Does that mean we just weren't upfront with how you pay?
No, the law doesn't speak to how those payments, what a city has to require for those payments. So it's silent, meaning it doesn't speak to, the city needs to approve specific type of payments. So we reviewed this with our city attorney. The law is silent. Since it's silent, it does give the city the wherewithal to dictate what type of payments we will accept.
Okay, all right, good. Good enough, thank you, Manager. Any other questions? If not, I'm looking for a motion. Councilor Clark?
I move that the City Council adopt Resolution 2026-06, a resolution establishing public records request policies and procedures for the City of Creswell and repealing Resolution 2017-20.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Councilor Morris seconds the motion. With the second, do we have any further discussion or questions? If not, I'm looking for a vote. All in favor? All opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. And with that, we're moving down to B, Resolution 2026-07. Get to it. And that would be Mr. Martorello.
Yes, the resolution is for the annual signing of the agreement with Lane County Sheriff's Office and the city. The resolution is to authorize the city manager to sign the agreement. Very few changes to the agreement. Certainly the cost has changed that you're well aware of. Telephones were taken out of the contract given some of the comments that Alex went into, and Lane County added some boilerplate language about the renewal process. Nothing substantive, nothing that changes our relationship with Lane County, the expectations, the terms, and things like that.
All right. Are there any other questions? Do we have any idea what the savings was for the getting rid of the phone lines?
Oh, I don't, but I would really think it's nominal.
Not much, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't, I mean, I didn't think
So, okay. Well, if there's no other questions, I'm looking for a motion. Councilor Morris.
I move that the City Council authorize the city manager to execute an intergovernmental agreement for law enforcement services for the City of Creswell with Lane County for the year beginning July 1, 2026 and ending June 30, 2027 in the amount of $1,401,667.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? Councilor Kramer seconds. Any further discussion? If not, we'll look for a vote. All in favor? All opposed? Same sign. Motion passes unanimously. And with that, I will trust that everyone will check out the Creswell calendar for upcoming meetings, and meeting is adjourned.